Feeding a family of 10 can feel impossible sometimes. Trust me, I know. But this week we made it work with just $269 at Aldi. Let me show you what we got, how we plan our meals, and how we stretch every dollar. And stick around to the end because I'm going to give you tips for feeding a family on a budget, plus our family favorite soup, white chicken chili. All right, before we dig in, here's a little background. Welcome back to the Mama Simply channel. We have 10 people in our family, 8 kids and 2 adults. We shop weekly at Aldi because their prices are amazing and it makes budgeting so much easier. This week, our grand total was $269. That covers breakfast, lunches, dinners, and snacks for the whole week. If you're feeding a big family, I promise it's possible with a little planning and some smart shopping. So that's my number one tip. Plan your meals before you shop. Know what you need and stick to your list. That saves so much money and prevents food waste. These staples will cover multiple meals this week. Groceries don't have to break the bank. It just takes a little planning. And these are all the options that I got for this week. I restocked the pantry with cereal for the kids to have for their breakfast. So they have a couple of options there. And then I restocked on spaghetti noodles. So I was running low on those. So I got 5 boxes of those, and those are $1.89 at my Aldi. So that's a pretty good price. I also picked up some nachos for us to have for Taco Tuesday. And then I also found these pizzas that were marked down. So I got that for us to have for lunch today. So once I get all of this put away, that's what I'm going to work on next, fixing our lunch. I also stocked up on some produce, so we'll have the carrot sticks and celery to go along with sandwiches for lunches. And we use about 4 gallons of milk a week, and that's our usual amount that we go through. And the kids are inspecting the groceries, so double checking what I got to make sure that it's everything that they hoped that we were going to have this week. So, back to what I was planning on. You can see the margarita pizza a little bit closer there. So I picked up produce, and then I found a really good deal on the salmon. It's 3 different kinds of salmon, so we can have that with bagels in the morning. And then I got hash browns. Those can be for breakfast casserole, and French fries to go with the chicken nuggets that I'm going to show you here a little bit closer up. My 5-year-old really likes these. I also got orange juice for the orange chicken that I'm going to make later this week. Peanut butter for sandwiches and cherry tomatoes. Those will also go with lunches. And my 5-year-old really loves these dino nuggets. So I got these for him. And ranch to go with the vegetables, and guacamole also to go with the vegetables. So those are breakfast and lunches that I have planned. And then I really love to make these charcuterie boards for my husband and myself. We like to watch a movie and spend the evening together. So I got a variety of cheese, some salami, and these dark covered cashews. I found this fig jam that I thought was really interesting to try, and then a lemon or orange fig, and then these olives will go on the side. And I also got these crackers that my husband really likes to have and these were marked down, so those were under $2. And then I got a variety of lunch meat to have for lunches, and some of the kids like ham, some of them like the turkey breast. So I got some of that. And so we have ham, turkey, and chicken. And I have cheese that I bought from Costco. And then I found these salads that are marked down. I have some rotisserie chicken from Costco, so I'm going to use that for lunches as well. And then for the teens, I picked up these pizzas that they can have on hand whenever they are hungry. And then I love these peaches that they have, these peaches in fruit juice. And I got a variety. The gala apples were marked down, so those were under $3. And then while I was at it, I got 2 loaves of the sourdough bread. That's to go with soup. And I'm going to show you my white chicken chili recipe that we'll have that with. And then I've picked up this Spendthrift. Now, this was a little bit more expensive. This was $6.47 at my Aldi. And then I got the ingredients to make Cherry Delight. So we're taking that to our family Christmas. So I'm going to take this drinks and the cherry cheesecake with us. And that'll be for our family Christmas. So a little bit fancier there. So I did spend money on that. But this is our full haul for the week, and all of this was for $269. Now let's talk soup. One of our absolutely favorite meals from the pantry is white chicken chili. It's creamy, hearty, and everyone in the family loves it. Plus, it's super budget friendly. For this chili, we'll use a Costco rotisserie chicken, white beans, canned corn, onion and garlic, cream cheese, chicken broth, and I have some canned enchiladas, little green chilies, actually, that are already diced up. And for our spices, we will use cumin, chili powder, salt, and pepper. Okay, so we're going to start by heating up our oil, and then I'm going to add in the onion and the garlic. And then while that's cooking, I shredded up my rotisserie chicken and just threw that in the pot. And I'm going to just brown that up a little bit, get that heated up. And so that won't take very long. The longest part really just takes shredding it. But if you do that while your onions and your garlic are softening, it just saves a ton of time. You could also use chicken thighs or diced chicken breast. It would take just a little bit longer, but it would probably be just as flavorful. And now I'm adding in my cans of white beans, and I have already drained those and rinsed those off. And now I'm getting my corn open, and I'm not going to drain the corn. I'm just going to let the corn juices just add to the broth, and that'll add a little bit of flavor. So no need to drain the corn, just toss it in. And same with the chilies, just you'll want to toss those right in. And so the only thing that I'm draining is the white beans, so I can rinse those off. So the corn really doesn't actually even have all that much fluid on it anyway to really worry about draining it. And so now that I have all of my base ingredients, I'm just going to mix those all together in the pot. And there's a little bit of that juice that I threw in. So I'm using that to get all those little brown bits off the bottom and add flavor to the soup. And now I'm going to add in my chicken broth, and I will get that in the pot as well. So now I have my 2 cans of broth added in there, and it's just enough to cover the chicken and the vegetables. And I'm just going to give that a really good stir here before we add in our spices. But I'm also going to be adding in the cream cheese, and then at the very end, I'm going to be adding in a little bit of milk, and that will help make it even more creamy. So I'm just grabbing out salt and pepper and adding that into the pot. And depending on how spicy your family likes their food, you can certainly add in more pepper or get a little bit more creative with the spices. I'm adding in some dried cilantro. I think I forgot to mention that in my list of ingredients that I gave to you earlier. So I am adding in some dried cilantro. You could use fresh if you wanted, and that would probably taste better, but I have dried cilantro on hand. And then I'm adding a little bit of onion powder just to make sure that the onion flavor comes through. And I also added in some garlic powder too, to enhance that garlic flavor. And then I'm going to add in my my chili spices here and the cumin, and you could add in some red pepper. You could certainly add in a variety of other spices. The little kids don't really, and I'm adding in oregano too. The little kids don't really care for things that are very spicy, so I tend to err on the side of making it less spicy for the smaller kids, and then my older kids like a little bit more heat, and so I have spices on the side that they can add in themselves. But this makes it definitely really flavorful, and it's nice to be able to customize. So we're just going to mix all of that together. And then next I'm going to add in the whipped cream, or the whipped cream cheese. Now, you could just use a packet of cream cheese. I had whipped cream cheese in the refrigerator, so I'm using what I already had on hand. And I'm just going to get that in the pot and then mix that up and let the cream cheese just melt into the soup. And that's going to give it some more flavor as well. And so you'll just want to let this simmer and just let all of it get those flavors get mixed together. And just like that, dinner is ready for 10 people with minimal effort and minimal cost. White chicken chili is great because it stretches for leftovers, freezes so well, and uses affordable pantry staples. It's perfect for feeding a big family without breaking the bank. You can serve this white chicken chili with sourdough bread, sour cream, cheese, scallions, and like I said, more hot peppers if you'd like. Jalapenos would be perfect on this. Whatever toppings your family enjoys. Even with a budget haul, we can make a meal that everyone loves. It's filling, cozy, and on a budget, exactly what we need for a family of 10. If feeding your family feels impossible right now, I hope this video gave you some hope and some ideas. Budget-friendly meals for families of any size are really possible. If you want more tips, meal ideas, and weekly grocery hauls, make sure to subscribe to the Mama Simply channel and turn on notifications. Comment with your favorite budget-friendly grocery find. We'd love to hear it. And we'll see you next video.